of the media has revolutionized the laws and practices of armed conflicts. Prior to the Vietnam War, there was a popular conception that the media could not directly influence the factors of the war, nor could it affect the outcome. However, because of the significant role that the media has played in this war, the concept of the power of the media has come to the forefront of strategic warfare. While the media has no direct influence over any circumstances or strategies that the military has in play, it can significantly shape the ideas and conceptions of conflicts, not just for the general public, but for the political powers as well that have not been to the front lines of the war. For this reason, many non-state actors have started utilising the power of the media to create their own mediatisation of war. From when it was first seen as just a physical target, to today's use as a strategic operations platform, non-state actors' perception of the use of media has continued to progress over the years. Historically, new media technologies have tended to favour the larger states and big empires over non-state actors. Although these technologies eventually become available to non-state actors, this pattern meant that with each new media technology, there has generally been an asymmetric balance between state and non-state actors in the power of producing a mass mediatization of the wars. This, however, did not mean that non-state groups were able to use the media to their advantage. During the 20th century, non-state groups saw the media as a physical target that could be taken out. The communication facilities and channels such as telegraph lines were capable of being physically attacked by non-state actors in order to weaken the army communications of the larger states. As non-state actors were not able to afford their own technological communication facilities, they used the destruction of their enemies' technology to reduce the advantage it gave them. As technology continued to advance and larger state powers continued to have an advantage over the non-state actors, the understanding of the use of media changed. Non-state actors now started to see the media as a weapon they could control and manipulate for themselves. It was soon realised that the media could be used as a weapon to attack the state at home, challenging the political elites and targeting the public's view of the conflict. For example, during the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong's attack in broad daylight on Tet, the Vietnamese New Year, was a strategic move that caused a rapid and widespread shift in public support for the war in America. As images of the gruesome attack spread throughout America, the public realized that the horrific events that were occurring in Vietnam and began to oppose and rally against the war more than ever before. Since the revolutionary emergence of digital media in 2002, a new heteropolar mediascape was created that leveled the playing fields of media wars between state and non-state armed groups.
The reality is, the world is facing a paradigm shift in communications. And international organizations have to be nimble and flexible and ready to respond to those changes. We no longer have the option to wait and see. We must be maintaining pace with how the world is communicating.
This technology rocked the traditional hierarchies and changed the global media environment, and therefore changed the mediatization of war itself. While traditional mass media communications before 2002 were used as either a target or a weapon, non-state actors have recognized how media can now constitute a strategic operations platform that both state and non-state actors can utilize for their own advantage. This means that both state and non-state actors have equal capabilities to wage a war and strategize through the media. While Western civilizations such as the United States are required to follow and comply with the laws of armed conflict, non-state actors such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda do not abide by these laws and deliberately violate them. Large states are also using a more sophisticated approach to the mediatization of armed conflicts in terms of making their wars seem surgical, clean, and humane, while non-state actors are using the media to instill fear and send powerful messages to their enemies.
Cyber battles are now changing the age-old conflicts between the people in power and the power of the people. Most of us use these tools now. For some, they're weapons to start a revolution, to wage a war. The power of social media was mobilized in 2009 in Iran's failed Green Revolution, and then in the historic uprisings we called the Arab Spring. They started in Tunisia, went to Egypt, and across the region. It's not just activists who've recognized this power. Governments, regimes use it too. In Syria, for example, the Syrian Electronic Army is described as the first virtual Arab army. It hacks into websites of the opposition, Western media, and human rights groups. In real wars, social media has become a weapon in every armory.
The media is also used in a number of different ways by non-state actors. Firstly, the media is used to send out propaganda and information designed to influence the ideas of the group in the minds of the public. Also, it is used to send messages to the enemy about what their cause is and what they are fighting for. The use of social media accounts such as Twitter and YouTube have created a platform where the terrorist groups can instantaneously send out messages as a way of both recruiting new members and instilling fear in its enemies. It is also used as a recruiting tool to attract people at home and around the world to their regime. One highly effective tool used by the United States that has been adopted by non-state actors in the recruitment tool is first-person shooter video games. These games are designed as a war simulation and create a platform to teach young people about the service. Recently, ISIS has used a spin-off version of the popular American game Grand Theft Auto to create their own recruitment tool. This game simulates fighting in a much more gruesome and seemingly realistic way than the America's Army video game. And it is most importantly used as a platform by non-state actors to scare their enemy and create a fear surrounding the possible consequences of the war. Generating a fear in the minds of the public and their enemies is a major part of the tactics of non-state terror groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. These groups have successfully used social media, and particularly video sharing platforms, to send a strong message to the world. One example of this is the beheading video of an American journalist that ISIS released in September of 2014. This reportedly highly graphic video showed every detail of the gruesome and shocking beheading of American journalist James Foley. The video was sent as a threat and message to the American government that they must stop the airstrikes and withdraw support for Kurdish and Iraqi forces in Iraq, or the beheadings and torture of the US citizens will continue. What made the video even more disturbing was the terror group's use of a British militant who conveyed the message and carried out the beheading. This shocking factor of Western participation in the terror group created a new fear of the group throughout the world, as well as creating a maximum publicity effect. The response to this video was exactly as the group had intended, as media outlets around the world reported the story, and President Obama held a press conference to say that America would not be backing down.
But when the civil war broke out in Syria, he was determined to tell the story of the uprising. Today, once U.S. intelligence confirmed that the gruesome beheading video was authentic, President Obama called the Foleys and vowed to pursue his killers.
Jim was taken from us in an act of violence that shocks the conscience of the entire world. We will be vigilant and we will be relentless.
In conclusion, we can see that military forces have all recognized the influence of media as a soft power weapon. While older technologies meant that larger states had the upper hand in technological power, new digital media has created an equal balance in the capabilities of both state and non-state actors. The strength of the media is found in the interactive war of spectacle that is provided, creating the need for strategic warfare strategies in their own right. This is done by non-state actors in the utilization of media in propaganda, messages, recruitment and fear generation.